Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a general reading from what I've been dealing with. Of course, everything may not resonate, so take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel at Val53 Tarot Visions Review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Hey, look at that. Right away, Sagittarius, there you are. Huh? Okay. Interesting. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that is harsh. That is a harsh energy, but it clearly is what it is. Okay. What? What has happened? I'm not understanding that. How does that happen so fast? I don't know, but they strongly emphasize you immediately. But as you know, Sagittarius, your energy. It's not only about balance, it's also about, opposites, and it's also about trying to kind of steady oneself energetically through a very difficult and rocky and shaky time. I don't know what, like, for some reason I'm actually looking at heavy masking or heavy stimming. What I don't know what this is around or about or towards you though. What is this energy where they're kind of showing me energetically repetitiveness, but repetitiveness in kind of like a cyclic way or cyclic nature, to where it's kind of like, even though they go through this, are they actually, changing? Or are they actually doing things differently? Are they actually doing things better? Are they actually learning something from this? Or are they just kind of doing the same repetitive whatever it is as a motorcycle goes by? Are they just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again and not really kind of getting the point? But kind of like, circling around the point, you could say. Whatever this is about and towards you, though, there's the Eight of Cups. They kind of just, and unfortunately, immediately following that, there's the World. So they're kind of like, nyeh. They've completely emotionally disconnected from you. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is taking place. But there's something there that they're just kind of like, yeah, forget it. It's like, forget it. They kind of like literally abandon this, or I don't know what that is. It's like there's something there that they're just not getting. There's something there that they're just not processing or comprehending. But I don't know why that's like they kind of emphasize like you. That's interesting. So it's like they're matching and mirroring your energy. But the problem is, it's kind of like you, let's just say, for example, Sagittarius, you trying to teach them and show them your energy, like where you're coming from, your side, your perspective, your opinion, what you think, what you feel. And they're just kind of like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they kind of just, sweep or brush you aside. And it's like, there you are clearly, trying to show them or tell them or walk them through something. And it's like they don't want to hear it. They don't want to think about it. They don't want to consider it. It's almost kind of like it's hard for them to kind of like grasp the concept or understand or kind of like see you eye to eye or kind of like get you. And they're just like, yeah, drop it. And I don't know what that is or why. That is such an abrupt, like, eh. They just sweep and dismiss all of this with you. And it's like, okay, that is a huge dismissal. That is a huge dismissal. I don't know why. I don't know why they're dismissing you so strongly, so abruptly, it feels like, but not only are they, does it feel like they're dismissing you, they also feel as if they're kind of like going through this unfortunate process of releasing you. I feel like they are. Um, I feel like they are dismissing, but also releasing. It's kind of like, okay, because they're kind of they're doing this in steps or in increments. Even though that closure takes place, it's like emotionally speaking, they're like, nyeh. They know it's done. It's like, you know, what's that called? One, you know what? Just because they go through the process of like knowing that they need to let it go, just completely let it go and move on, move forward. But I don't understand. It's almost kind of like this dismissal in such a, oh my gosh, and around we go. It's like this dismissal of, I don't understand that is like, let's just say, for example, you have two people talking or conversing or having a conversation on social media or over the phone or through text, through DM, through email. And let's just say it's kind of like they're bringing their energy to the table and you're bringing your energy to the table. I'm going to kind of like walk through this as an example so I can understand this. The conversation moves forward. Their energy, your energy, there's a clash of, what I'm saying is there's a clash of opposite energies. And what they go through is like, for some reason, it's like, do you know how to read a room? Do you know how to read someone? Do you know how to, in order, what I'm saying here, Crosswatcher, hello, by the way, do you know how to read Sagittarius? Because you're showing me this limited perspective of like not being able to understand or grasp where Sagittarius is coming from. And they're just like, They, like I said, they just dismiss you. And they go through this process internally of, okay, and now I'm going to release that about me in Sagittarius. But then as they move forward, it's almost kind of like disconnecting in chunks and pieces, kind of like you're doing a parasite cleanse. Let's just say, inch by inch, because they grow an inch a month. Fun fact, if you eat meat. Inch by inch, they're releasing these energetic, cords or ties or attachments or this connection with you. And once again, it's like this energy of, like I said, at that conversation or at that table, whatever the connection or relationship or dynamic is between the two of you, it's like this dismissive energy, which is very strange because they thought the dynamic or relationship or connection with you was one way. And for some reason, because of that, those opposite energies clashing, they're finding out it's completely different. Like it's not what they thought it was. And they're going through this process, kind of a little bit, swirly whirly. And unfortunately, it's kind of going down this checklist of, okay, Sagittarius is like this, check. Okay, it's not like this, check. And they're having to process, it's weird, process in like increments and steps of like how this is actually unfolding and moving forward. But they themselves are having to almost play catch up and digest, process, but also change their perspective of how they see the dynamic between the two of you unfolding. And what's very strange is as they disconnect, what I'm looking at is disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. The more they disconnect, it's almost kind of like you start to wonder, let's just say if you're kind of just like, I'm just listening and you're just there. The more they disconnect, it's almost like the more you begin to sense them getting like irked or ramped up or hyped up. And you're like, where's this going? It's like they're the ones that disconnected. And it's almost kind of like the what could have been with you, Sagittarius, that is causing them to get all worked up with themselves all over again. And it's like, but you don't care. But that door is closed. But you yourself have disconnected. You yourself have let go. And they're like, it's almost like they're arguing for the sake of like what could have been instead of like even sitting with the reality of what is. Like you're not even fighting for the present moment. You're fighting for the future of what could have been. But you've already disconnected in the present, and that's where that anger and that frustration and misplaced rage comes from. And what's very strange over here is they're trying to kind of energetically save face and play this off like, but Sagittarius. And so by the end of this, it's almost kind of like, I don't know. It's like, unfortunately, it feels like it's being just cut down. Like if you look at this energy, it looks like it's being like, we used to be up here, now we went down to there, but now we're down here, and now we're just down here like two bodies, energetically speaking. And now we're just two bodies. And it's like, but they are the ones that go through this process of cutting and dissecting this relationship down to the point of where here we are. And it's almost kind of like, unfortunately, it's like they've, perspective wise, Sagittarius, they've downgraded you with how they perceive you. Because unfortunately, they don't like how you're being, they don't like how you are. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That is like, people have multiple sides, people have multiple facets. And if you can't accept that about people, then you don't accept them. That's like, I only like you when you're only showing me one side or one face. Imagine that you're like a square personality and someone's like, I don't like those other three sides that you show me. I prefer that one side. And so they just dismiss you, just disregard, just dismiss, I don't accept those sides. I only accept one. And it's like, it's about control ultimately. It's about control. Kind of like an intolerance thing, emotionally, mentally too. People are very complex. People are very complex and very, sometimes can be very confusing. It's a part of life. It's not like an action figure or a doll. It doesn't work that way. Was that called paper dolls? They're working through it. Jeez Louise, they are working through it. They're like, yeah. Crosswatcher, what are you doing? Besides seeing red. I mean, that's what's that called? It's not, I'm not going to say that. It's not bloodlust. It's just lust. Just seeing pure red, just lust. But then again, the Four of Swords being all red is someone that needs to kind of take a break and cool it. Don't know. But what's very interesting about this lust energy is they themselves, emotionally speaking, are like trying to escape. It's weird. All of a sudden, it turns into this energy of like they're trying to escape and run from this energy of lust. How very strange. It's like you boil it all the way down. Okay, pure attraction. It is what it is. But at the same time, even they're kind of like, you put all this together and it's like, yeah, sounds nice. You're a body, they're a body, two bodies. We'll see where it goes, Sagittarius. We'll see where it goes. A little more. And that's the thing, though, is they know this. They know this. I mean, there's a high priest. The high priest knows this. Ooh. Ain't that something? Cat got your tongue. Cat got your tongue. They're like, great, what am I going to do? Don't know. What are you going to do? You mean that little putty cat? They're just emphasizing agreeing with me. What am I going to do? I don't know. Don't know. They just re-emphasize that again. Don't know what I'm going to do. There's the tower. There ain't nothing they can do. They're realizing all their moves have been called out, and that's what leads to that tower. Energetically, they've been pinned. That's what they're saying. I've been pinned or pegged. Bye.